Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandra Aneno, aka Mama Maria. Now this is Everything Mama. Like I told you last week, this week we would be discussing a topic that is very personal to me, a topic that is very important for the times that we are living in. What is it? Emotional safety during play and how this can affect a child's character development, either positively or negatively, depending on how you handle this concept, emotional safety. So because I love you very much, and because I want to be of importance to you, and because I want to share things that I think are very, very important, not only to just me, but you as well as a member of society and this country, I read up, I researched, I spent my good time writing down, jotting down this so that I can give you win. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Welcome back. So for the past 2 to 3 episodes, when we were discussing the role of play in child development, I had a very special guest, a knowledgeable guest, Miss Joyful Nyirahawa. You all saw and heard her. When we were talking about play, she mentioned that there are 2 kinds of safety. When play is involved, there is physical safety and then there is emotional safety. So in those videos before, she touched just a bit on physical safety, where she told us like before you engage children in play, make sure that the play area is spacious, that you remove maybe like stones, you tell the children not to run, or if there are holes, you inform them and you let them know, there's a hole here, be careful, do this, do that. So I was thinking about it, and in my head I was like, but someone could be like, yeah, but Sandra, us growing up, God, we used to play games. We never used to do those things of simanya, safety. We used to play gogolo, dulu, 7 stones, kakebe. You know how dangerous it was playing games like in the early 90s, because I'm a 90s kid. I don't think we really had like physical safety measures, but let's agree that times have changed. The way things are right now are not the way things were. Like me, personally, I honestly can't envision Maria playing, for example, a game, we used to call it Land Rover. So in P1, P2, P3, you're like what, roughly 7, 8 years? Like roughly 7, 8 years, right? But that game, how it was you'd get about maybe 8 to 10 kids who would like stand in a line and lock hands like this. So the people on the opposing side, for them to win, they'd have to like run very, very fast and like break the linkage of the hands. So whoever was able to pass through the linkage, that's the person who had like done a good job or who had triumphed. But like now, I honestly can't see, for example, Maria over playing Land Rover, even if she's like 7 or 8. Times have changed. So for me, I want to say again, physical safety is very, very important. Have your kids wear closed shoes. If they can't, then try and make the play area as safe as possible. Now that we've discussed physical safety, I've like taken you through a fast rerun of what it is. But today, like I told you, we're discussing emotional safety. So what does emotional safety look like? What does it feel like? What is it? As an adult right now, I would say that emotional safety for me at this point, like now, looks like this. Being in an atmosphere with my friends and my family where, 1, I feel accepted, I feel understood, I feel listened to, I feel heard. Like for me, those are some of the few things that amount to emotional safety for me. Now, what does it look like where children are concerned? Remember, we're talking about emotional safety in play. 1, a child will feel emotionally safe when they have a sense of belonging. If you have 1 kid, you want that 1 child of yours to feel like they belong, to feel like they matter to you. If you're put in a setting where you have more than 1 child, whether in a family setting or in a work setting, that already brings in other factors like race, sex, class, abilities, family background, culture. So When you're faced with more than one child, you want to make sure that all those children have a sense of belonging, that none of them feels like their needs are being put on the sidelines for the needs of another. You want all your children to feel like they belong. That is what emotional safety looks like. What else does emotional safety look like? 2. In play, children will feel emotionally safe when they are encouraged to feel successful no matter what their level of skill is. Let's be honest, you see these fingers, they are not equal. You've heard that jazz about how it shows how like people in life are not equal. In the same way, no two children are the same. What your child can do, my child might not be able to do, and what my child can do, your child might not be able to do. But what you want to do during play is to make sure that all your children, all your child's successes are celebrated no matter their level of skill. 3. You want to make sure that your children have their unique skills, abilities, and talents recognized, acknowledged, and valued. When you do that for a child, when you notice that your child has this ability and you acknowledge it and you value it and you celebrate it, you're making your child or your children feel emotionally safe. Next, emotional safety in play happens when children feel free to express their feelings and opinions without fear. Could you imagine me growing up? I think I was blessed that I had a very approachable mother with whom I could discuss almost anything. My inability to discuss certain things with her was on my part, not on hers. She was always there. It was me who, for whatever reason, decided, I can talk to mama about this. I can't talk to mama about this. Mama can't know about this. But during play, remember I told you emotional safety, it blows over into the other aspects of a child's life. So you want to make sure that your child or your children know that they are free to express their opinions without fear that, if I speak up, what if daddy does this? What if mommy does this? Okay, so remember that you want your children to feel free to express their opinions without fear. So in my book, under the point, feel free to express their feelings and opinions without fear, I wrote PS. Once they voice their opinion, and this opinion doesn't settle well with you, remember you're the adult, you're the parent, you know what is best for your child. Then you may redirect this child. But, I underlined but, enable an atmosphere where in the first place they feel that freedom to be able to voice their opinions. So like we all know, children need guidance. They'll come to you and say, Mama, A, B, C, and this. And it might be off or it might be wrong. But what you want to do is cultivate an atmosphere where in the first place, before you tell them no, this, that, in the first place, create an atmosphere where your children can come to you and talk to you. If they can't do it during play, where else will they do it? If they can't do it during the games where you're supposed to be free and laughing, if they can't do it with you there, where else will they do it? So once you create an atmosphere that is emotionally safe for your children, then you will see the benefits, which I'm going to tell you about. I also wanted to tackle the question what you can do or what I can do to make our children feel emotionally safe. So before we go anywhere, this is the first thing or step 1 that I want you to do. I want you to recognize that all children have different needs. Short, tall, chubby, thin, white, black, all of them have different needs. But the one thing that all children have in common is the need to feel supported, respected, wanted, and above all, safe. Tell me what child does not want to feel safe? Tell me what child does not want to be supported? My God, tell me what adult does not want to feel safe? If you want to feel safe, you want to feel respected, you want to feel wanted, how much more for a child? So now this is what you can do to make your child, stroke children, feel emotionally safe. I'll break it down in 2 ways. 1, if you have more than one child, that means you have maybe 2 children, 3 children, as a parent, a custodian, a guardian, judge, or a social worker, like if you're in whatever atmosphere that puts you in the line of children and they are more than one or they are in a group, this is what you want to do to make them feel emotionally safe. One, you want to have the children build trust within the group, because if they don't have trust within themselves, then they're not going to trust you. That's how you find siblings escaping and jumping over the fence, and mama does not know. For them, they have trust between them. They are working out their things, but you don't know. So if you have more than one child, not that that is what the trust would be used for, like to escape more. My point is, you want your children to have trust within themselves, but this building of trust starts with you. So now, you also want to have your children set some ground rules, and these ground rules are kind of also the thing that builds trust. So when I was researching, I was seeing that the setting of the ground rules is usually for maybe children who are a bit older, like maybe 4 to 5 years. So these are the kids who could maybe set ground rules that the younger children could apply. Then you also want to make sure that in this group, the children are being respectful towards one another. One, they are not using hurtful talk or hurtful language. And then more than that, they are also supporting one another. So if you're working with children in a group, or if you're a parent, a guardian, custodian to children that are more than one, this is how you can make them feel emotionally safe. Make sure that that you're building trust within them, that you're building trust with them and yourself. You're making sure that they set their rules, and they set the rules and the consequences. What happens when you break that rule? Because you set it yourself. Mama, this is the rule. I will not, or I will try not to do this. If I do this, I do it with Maria. She's making 3 this month, but I tell her, Maria, this is the rule. Or what do you want the rule to be? What happens when you break the rule? So when the kids set the rules themselves, there is that sense of like, first of all, you've considered them.
Sense of ownership.
Yes, exactly, like Joanne said, there's a sense of ownership because you set the rules yourself, the consequences yourself. So the demand for you to not mess up is kind of high. This is when it's in a group. But then what do? How do you make an individual child feel emotionally safe? Now, like my Maria, she's alone. But then also remember that in that group, when you see people in a group, zoom in also and see them as individuals. So you see, even in a family setting, let's say, for example, myself, I have siblings. I have 4 bigger brothers. But as children, if you took away that front of the siblings, you'd just be left with like John, David, or Sandra. Us as individuals, chiri echa group ngokoze eki ng'okijeewo. So how do you make your individual child, or how do you make an individual feel emotionally safe? I wrote them down. 1, recognize that your child has different needs. I already told you that. Recognize that every child has different needs. During play, you might notice that one child maybe needs to be affirmed more, and that's their need. But that need might be different from the other child who maybe needs you to listen more. So you see, every child has different needs, and you need to recognize these needs and cater to them accordingly. 2, you want to encourage each child's effort, no matter their skill level. I already told you, whatever effort a child is putting into a game, please encourage it, applaud it, praise it. You have no idea what this can actually do to now the other aspects of their life, but outside of play. Next, you want to listen. I even put it in capital letters and 2 exclamation marks. Listen. In our previous video, I took you through what amounts to good communication. So you want to be alert to the feelings of a child. You want to make sure that a child, no matter the age, feels understood, feels listened to, feels heard. Next, you also want to make sure that you're managing a child's behavior during play in ways that respect the child. Basically, don't belittle them, don't embarrass them, don't use hurtful talk. Yechana gwe wabachi, tomanyi nakola chintu kyonna. Do you realize what you've done? Do you realize the impact of your words? Emotional safety. Now, I wrote down here, 2 to 3 year olds may not be able to start a conversation with you about a problem that they may be encountering during a game. What does this mean? This means that it is up to you to be observant, to be keen. You get? Look at them. What problems do you think they might be facing? Go up to them, ask them, speak directly to them. If you don't pick their mind or if you don't engage them, they probably will never tell you. That's how a child grows up with communication issues, where they're going through things, but they can't come out to you and do what? And talk to you. So these are the things that you can do to help your child or children feel emotionally safe. Now, moving on to character development. What is character development? And what is the link between these two things? How does emotional safety during play bikwatagana bitya ne character development? I'm about to tell you how. Kati character development chichi bannange. What is character development? Character development is the teaching and learning of positive attitudes and values and behaviors that are consistent with those positive attitudes and values. Which brings me to my question of the day. Our question for the day is, what values or attitudes do you think a child must learn in order to be successful in life? Now, because I like discussing with people, I like knowing what people think, it is very, very important that you go ahead and let me know what you think in the comment section. So some of you might be wondering, why am I discussing emotional safety in play and character development? Like bikwatagana bitya. I told you that I would be telling you what the link between these two is, and here is the link. I thought about it. Why is it important for a child to feel emotionally safe in play? And how does this safety or its lack thereof affect a person's character development, either positively or negatively? I wrote down that when children thrive or play or live in an environment where they're emotionally safe. Remember, I described to you what emotional safety looks like. That atmosphere presents the right conditions for the children to learn positive values and attitudes that once applied result into life skills. So my dear people, by creating an emotionally safe environment for your kids, you're actually helping them to develop life skills. What are life skills? Life skills are actions based on positive attitudes and values. They are actions, things that you do, but those things have a foundation in positive attitudes and values. And those attitudes and values are the ones that contribute to an individual's success and in the end, a stronger community. Because when we as individuals are responsible, are focused, are brought up well, the bigger picture is clearer for us as Ugandans, for us as a community, for you as a family. Mukitegera kati tuddeyo. Play and games, like I told you, can be used to promote those positive attitudes and values which are basically character developed. Like a person who has a good character is someone who maybe has like good morals, a positive attitude and outlook on life, is optimistic. Ebintu byemwenyumirizamu, like a friend who you're proud to call a friend has those positive attitudes, or a child, like whatever it is. Now let's continue. If a child is able to play in an emotionally safe environment, they can learn, I've told you, positive skills and attitudes, like what? Cooperation. A child can learn how to cooperate. Joyful told you these things. A child can learn how to cooperate. And when they learn the life skill of cooperation, then they learn how to, for example, share, how to be tolerant, how to be patient, how to trust, and how to be a team player. Are you seeing how you're giving your child life skills? If a child grows up and they are emotionally unsafe or abused, what kind of adult do you think they are going to turn into? This is how you find, for example, a 30-year-old woman, myself, and I can't work with people. I am not a team player, like sigambwako. Why? Because probably as a child, I was raised in an environment where nobody told me anything. So here I am, an adult, struggling in life, not knowing that my foundation or your foundation as a child was shaky. Are you seeing how things how the foundation can affect what the structure of a house looks like. So emotional safety, like I told you, is very important, because when they are safe, they learn skills. They're able to learn how to communicate, how not to give up, how to be determined, how to speak up, leadership skills, confidence. You see how you're arming a child to grow up to be an adult that is responsible, that is productive. Muchitegera. Now, what are the benefits of character development? Is there a reward? Why should I bother as a parent? Why should I care if my child has positive morals, positive attitudes? Why should I care? You should, and here is why. The reward for good character development is one enjoyed throughout their lives, them as individuals, because at the end of the day, it starts with you. But then now you also as a parent, as a guardian, as a community, as a nation. These children with good character development will, one, have more positive behavior. They will have more positive interactions and relationships. They will bring greater harmony within the family. You see, the child who is not emotionally safe is the child who you're always backing at. You get? If you can't be okay with them in the area of play, how much more give you it's back to serious business. You get? So a child who is emotionally safe will have good character development, and in the end will bring good harmony within the family, within the community, and they will definitely have a higher level of productivity, responsibility, leadership, and citizenship. Tell me how this doesn't concern me. So now, a popular opinion, like I told you, I researched, and this is what they were saying, that character development isn't appropriate for 2 to 3 year olds. Why? So they were saying, like, a child who is 2 to 3 years old has probably not yet gained like the right skills. It's called cooperative play, to be able to like play with other people, or their attention span is too small, that like when you sit down to take them through a talk on like character development, they might not be able to focus. But I want to dispute this opinion a bit. I want to believe that children take what we give them. Children pick up what we give them. They learn what we decide to impart on them. Maria is making 3 years, but I'm telling you, even right now, we can sit down here and have a proper conversation on how responsibility is important, on how productivity is important. I can sit down with her, or with her auntie Joyful, she can sit down with her aunties and be able to have a cohesive conversation on why this and this is important. So this is the opinion, but my opinion is also that children take what you give them. So whether they are a year old, whether they are 2 years, 3 years old, you as a parent, you as a guardian, you as a caretaker can find a way to communicate to your child, and they understand the importance of character development and what it is. As we end, all in all, why is emotional safety and character development? You've seen how the two link together. You've seen how the two work together. But why is all of this important as an end? It is important because such a delicate matter, you cannot leave to chance. You cannot leave it to chance that your child will be taught how to be kind, how to care. These are things that you as the parent, you as the guardian, you as the person who is in contact with the child, these are things that you have to develop within them. You have to sow that seed and then water it, nurture it. You can't leave it up to chance. Good character and emotional safety happens with intention, guidance, and direction. And that is how our children will learn positive attitudes, will learn positive morals, positive behaviors, and in the end become responsible and productive members of the family, community, society, and the country and world at large. Thank you so much for watching this video up until this point. But like all good things, you know, they have to come to an end, so I have to go. But before I leave, next week, I want to hear from you. I want to hear about any questions you might have concerning the show Everything Mama. Maybe what is it really about? Is it strictly for women? Is it strictly for mothers? Like whatever question it is that you have concerning the show, please leave it in the comments or go over to Facebook, my page, Sandra Aneno. Come into my inbox, let me know whatever it is that you want to know about the show, and then next week that's what we'll be discussing. I'll be answering all your questions. Otherwise, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell so that every time I drop a video every Saturday at 6, ding ding ding, nga nawe otegeera ng'olumba nga you watch kwegamba tukule fenna fenna. Otherwise, thank you so much, and God bless. Bye. Bye.